Let's take a look at how to use Premiere Pro's graphic titler to create some basic titles. Now, I would like to place a title that says Barron's Bakery and Coffee Shop over the first few shots of my montage here. So to add a title, you just select the sequence and then come to Graphics, New Layer, and you have the option of adding a text layer, a vertical text layer, a rectangle, an ellipse, or you can bring in an image file. If you don't have your sequence selected, if you have any other window selected, notice that this is grayed out. Okay, so you absolutely need to select your sequence in order to create your title. And then I'll come up to Graphics, New Layer, and we'll just do a text layer. Look at the keyboard shortcut. It's Command-T or Control-T on a PC. So I have a text layer, and it was added to the first most available video track, which in our case is V2. And so I want to make sure that it's selected, and I'm going to come up to Effect Controls. So here's my text layer, and if I twirl this down, you can see that there's two main categories with various parameters. We have source text and transform. Under source text are most of the things that you would probably imagine. We have font, style, size, we have our alignment, our justification, our tracking, kerning, leading, and so on. So I want sort of a regal title here for Barron's, and I like copper plate for that. So I'm going to type in copper plate, bold, and I'm just going to double click in here. When I double click, notice that my tool changes from selection tool to the type tool. So I'll double click and I'm just going to type in Barron's. Okay, and then I'm going to change a few more things about this. I'm going to increase the size, and I'm also going to increase my tracking. Okay, and then I'm also going to come down here to my appearance parameters. I can change my fill. If I wanted to change the color of my letters, I could just click in this color well and then choose a new color. I do want white though, so I'll cancel out of this. I will add a stroke though, so that we can separate the text from the video a little bit better. So I'll click on stroke and we'll get black. And I'm going to increase this to maybe 10. All right, and I'm also going to turn off V1 for right now. I'm going to design the title over black, and then we'll bring it back later. Okay, so that is basically how I want my text. I'm going to come down to my transform properties, and I'm going to talk a little bit about this using it within the Effect Controls panel and also from the Program Monitor. You can, of course, change your position and your scaling, your rotation, your opacity. Okay, let me undo a few of those. And your anchor point from the Effect Controls panel window. If I go to my Program Monitor, and I'll expand this by pressing tilde, you can also change your position and your scaling. And if you hover over the corner here, you can change your rotation. And then here is your anchor point. So if you were doing an animation and you wanted to change your anchor point, you can move that as well. Okay, so nice tactile methods as well. All right, so I'm going to add another text layer. And if I don't have my title selected and I add another text layer, Command-T, you can see that it adds a whole new title element onto another video track. That's not what I want here. I want everything to be contained within the same title. So I'll delete that and then make sure I have this selected and press Command-T. And it copies the style that I just created, which is nice. I don't have to go back to the drawing board to get the style that I created. So I'm going to type in bakery and then ampersand. That's how they have it on their website. And I'm going to just decrease the size a bit here. Oh, classic mistake. Even though it's selected here in the Program Monitor, you'll notice that I have Barron's, and then this is my size parameter for Barron's. I actually need to twirl up and access bakery to get that size parameter. So let me undo. And yes, we need to twirl down bakery and bring that down. All right, and I'll actually just drag this right here. Okay. And I'm going to put Barron's on top, just so I can have sort of a top-down mentality within the Effect Controls panel that matches what I see on screen. Okay, so we'll select it and do Command-T again. And here's our third text layer. And I want this one to say coffee shop. Okay, and we'll move that into place. And I want that to be basically lined up with Barron's size-wise. So I'm going to drag that down and twirl down coffee shop, make sure I'm accessing the coffee shop parameters, and increase my size, like so. Okay, almost there. All right, great. I'm happy with that. Now let's create an ellipse that surrounds the entire thing. So I'm going to select it and then go to Graphics, New Layer, and Ellipse. Okay, and I'm going to just expand this around my title. If you created the ellipse, it may have created it with a fill. And so in that case, you would just need to turn off your fill and make sure that you turned on your stroke. And that's what I want here. Okay, I'm just centering this up and then I'll fix the text inside. I'm going to just select Barron's and Bakery and Coffee Shop, and we'll move that to fit inside the ellipse. Okay, so right now I have just a static title over my montage. I'm going to play it just to see about the timing. Okay, I think I want the title to go away right after this third shot. So I'm going to trim that in. And I'm going to play again. Okay, so I have the basic layout for my title. Next, I'd like to animate it and take some other measures to make sure it's more visually separated from the background, which we'll explore next.